really popular article that I've seen shared a lot on social media, and it is called Top 5 Reasons Why Vegan Diets Are a Terrible Idea. So I would like to go through this article and explain why this article is just totally wrong and doesn't make any sense. Yet so many people are reading this article and say, oh, well, yep, this article, yep, that makes a lot of sense. I'm not going to do the vegan thing. So I just want to lay down some truth here of what's going on. Or let's just say I'm going to lay down my opinion, okay? My opinion, I'm going to go through this. I'm going to just dig a little deeper than what the article would kind of lead you to believe. And let's just see what's going on for real here, okay? Reason number 1, this is the top 5 reasons vegan diet is a terrible idea. Number 1, vegans are deficient in many important nutrients. And then it goes on to list, here are a few examples. Animal protein, which contains all the essential amino acids in the right ratios. Well, see, the thing is that you can get all the essential amino acids very easily from plants. So, boom, finish that one. Protein is just that's so silly if you think you can't get enough protein on a vegan diet. That's just ridiculous. Do some friggin' research, please. Creatine. Creatine is produced by the human body. We don't need to eat creatine. That is produced by us. Carnosine is the same thing. That is produced by the human body. B12 is produced by the human body. However, many people, vegans, vegetarians, and meat eaters, do have B12 deficiencies, and that's a bigger topic, but everybody should be looking out for the B12 levels. DHA, again, this is something that you can get from food. You can get this from vegan food, and your body is able to convert a little bit of it in your own body. You can make it in your own body and convert it from other nutrients. But it's definitely possible to get all these nutrients on a vegan diet. Yeah, you may have to do a little bit of research, a little bit of planning, but it's like a total non-issue. So they say, bottom line, vegans are deficient in many important nutrients, including vitamin B12 and creatine. Studies show that vegans have much lower testosterone levels than their meat-eating counterparts. Well, that's really interesting. You can look at those studies that they list as 4 of them. 2 of them don't seem to have anything really to do with testosterone, and the other 2 of them show a very slight difference in testosterone levels that is pretty much insignificant. This is number 2. There are no studies showing that they're better than other diets. No studies showing that vegan diets are better than other diets. Okay, well, let's see what they have to say here. They reference one study that this is actually a study between 4 different kinds of diets. One of them is an Atkins diet, and one of them is the Ornish, which is like a low-fat, near-vegan diet. Basically, they say that the Atkins group lost more weight, 10.4 pounds, while the Ornish group lost only 5.6 pounds. But the interesting thing, you can look at a graph that tracks, this is a 12-month study, the graph tracks the weight of the people on the various diets for 12 months, and it looks like this, okay? I'll show you it right here. You know, you can see the Atkins group loses weight dramatically because they're eating really low carb, high fat diet, and if you eat low carb and you're restricting your calories, you're gonna lose weight. But the interesting thing is, by the end of the study, who's gaining weight the fastest? Yep, the Atkins group. And guess what would have happened if that study would have went on for years? The Atkins group would have been the fattest. They would have gained the most weight. And although the Ornish near vegan diet doesn't lose as much weight, it's regaining the weight because all these diets end up regaining weight. It's regaining weight the slowest. Okay, so over time, the Ornish group, the near vegan diet, is going to be the best. Okay, it says the Atkins group had greater increase in HDL, the good cholesterol, but of course there's no mention of the increase in the bad cholesterol, which would no doubt have been the lowest in the near vegan diet. Third reason here, proponents of vegan diets use lies and fear-mongering to promote their cause. And they basically say there's no evidence that vegan diets are good for you. And, here's the largest epidemiological study that's ever been conducted, the China study. And, oh yeah, that's been thoroughly debunked. Really? Okay, so Denise Minger, the China study, fact or fallacy, wow. So a little, whatever she is, 25 or 20-year-old blogger or whatever, she debunked the largest epidemiological study ever. And actually, Dr. T. Colin Campbell, the author of the China study, did a response to that and totally wrote off her debunking. You know, he talked about everything that she raised and talked about why she was totally wrong. And same thing with Chris Masterjohn. he wrote, "What Dr. Campbell won't tell you about the China study." Dr. Campbell has responded to criticisms of the China study, but of course nobody wants to listen to that. They just want to hear that the China study's been debunked and you don't really have to eat vegan to be healthy. You can just eat all the animal products you want, and oh yeah, the China study's been debunked. And everybody's okay, I'll stop there and I'll just keep eating animal products. But if you do your research, you'll realize that this China study is legit. If you're going to read the debunking of the China study, then please read the response to the debunking of the China study. Okay, number 4, vegan diets may work in the short term for other reasons. Now they say that, yeah, there's other things that are promoted, like it's not just the vegan diet, you're promoting whole foods, and there's other things that go along with the success. If you're getting into a vegan diet, you're probably getting more into health, and you're going to do other things like you're not going to smoke, you're not getting as many refined foods, like there's an emphasis on whole foods. So yeah, there are other things happening, that are going to bring your health. I'll give you that, but the vegan diet is definitely helpful. Not eating animal products is really, really helpful, and there is tons of science to back that up. And number 5, they say there is no health reason to completely avoid animal foods. They say we evolved this way. Well, if we evolved this way, then why does our intestinal tract not look anything like any other animals who are designed to eat meat? We are actually not designed to eat meat. If you look at our bodies, we are designed to actually eat fruit. And plant foods are the best suited foods for our bodies. I just really don't know what else to say. If you really are interested in what this article has to say, I would really recommend that you actually look at the studies that the article is referencing and draw your own conclusions, because this article is very, very biased against vegan diets, for sure. They're trying to put everything in such a way that it's really easy for somebody to read and say, yep, they've referenced some studies, and yep, this is a terrible idea, this whole vegan diet thing. But if you actually do some research yourself beyond reading a little blog post or whatever this is, it seems to be one of the most popular things that people like to share against the vegan diet on the internet. If you're going to follow this advice without doing any research for yourself, that's up to you. That's totally up to you. But if you want to be smart and actually know a little bit about nutrition and how the vegan diet can be incredibly beneficial for your health, do some further research. Check out pcrm.org for the medical professionals who promote plant-based diets. Listen to what they have to say. Check out this very interesting podcast. If you've ever heard of the Rich Roll podcast, it's one of the most popular podcasts on iTunes, most popular health and fitness podcasts on iTunes. Check out the Rich Roll podcast, episode 128 with Joel Kahn, MD, and the title is Butter Really Back? A heart-to-heart with cardiologist Joel Kahn. Okay, so check out that if you're trying to sift through all this information that's telling you that butter is actually really good for you, and saturated fat is really good for you, and all this science has said that high-carb, low-fat diets that are high in plant foods is good for you. All that science, just throw that out the window and just eat all the butter and eggs and animal products you want. That's really good for you. If you've been hearing that message and saying, well, what's going on? That sounds kind of good. I kind of like to eat butter and stuff, and they're saying that's kind of good for me, and I want to do that. Well, listen to this podcast first. They really dissect what's going on and where these messages are coming from and what the real truth is, or they really just overview the studies and just give you a real perspective on how much science has actually been done and what the science actually says, because there's so much confusion out there. And this particular podcast episode, I really recommend. I'll put some links in the description down below. Check it out, do your own research, and make some good decisions for yourself. Please do not listen to all of this, oh, butter, saturated fat is good for you, and change your diet. Don't listen to that stuff without doing some serious research. And when you do the research, I'm sure that you'll find that that is a really bad idea. Plant foods for the win, 100,000 million %. The thing is, and they talk about this in the podcast, I think they talk about this in this podcast, but I've heard, it's just so true that it's very, very difficult to eat a moderate amount of animal foods. Animal foods are very addictive. People have, if somebody were to eat a small amount of meat, like once a week or a couple times a month or something like that, it probably wouldn't kill you. But it's really, really hard to do that because it is an addictive thing. It's like an alcoholic saying, you know, if you've grown up eating animal products your whole life and you're just totally hooked on them, and you want to say, oh, well, I'll just eat like once a month or something like that. It's going to be really hard to do. It's like an alcoholic saying like, oh, well, I'll just have a drink once a month. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. So anyways, do some research. Please don't believe all this bullshit that's out there because it's absolutely what it is. Do some research. Get educated. Thanks for watching. Peace out. See you next video. Like, share, subscribe if you enjoyed. And yeah, post questions and comments down below. Thanks a lot. Peace out.